Hello, I'm Trevor Lai in Shanghai. Savvy marketers in China know that data provided by web publishers about viewership and click-through rates can be inflated sometimes by the high double digits. What they don't know is how to get through this false information. We have some of China's top digital marketing experts here today to tell us how. Later, PT Black has got your number, and a thought or two. But first, we have Clement Tsang joining us as MediaMind's China Sales Director. Thanks for joining us today, Clement.
Thank you, Trevor.
Clement, how big is the gap between the real data and what publishers are providing to advertisers?
The global accepted standard is 15% discrepancy. Our experience is China tends to have 30% discrepancy, so that's double the global standard.
That's a huge gap.
That's right, it is.
And what would you attribute such a large discrepancy to specific to the China market?
The origin of this data discrepancy comes from the fact that China's dot-com boom settled a sales model from the publisher side where they were selling something like outdoor media. Cost per day, where the data becomes window dressing. It's not essential to the decision of purchasing the media.
So you're saying that 1 in every 3 basically results is fake?
Or elevated.
Which is a nicer word for fake.
That's another way of putting it, that's correct.
So how can advertisers tell the information that they're getting is even close to being factual? How do they verify anything?
Well, just like you purchase any product, you check the credibility of the source. Is it global? Is it certified by IAB or MRC? Are the reports automated? And just as any other product, who else is buying that? Who are your common customers? So if a global brand is using this service, maybe it's a good measure of the credibility of that source.
So you're talking about the credibility of the source rather than a specific metric. So
Correct.
there's not one metric that is better than another, viewership versus click-through rates.
Well, there's multiple metrics. You can reach up to 25 types. Again, it comes down to what is the level of education of the client, what is the sophistication of the media agency, and what is the end objective. So if you're doing brand awareness, you're probably more looking at video play rates, if that's the format you're looking. If you're trying to drive sales, you'll be looking at conversion. But ultimately, if you're a sophisticated marketer, you'll be looking at all of them, 30, 40 different metrics.
But that's a big if. If you're a sophisticated marketer in China, in your experience in China, have you seen a lot of the advertisers actually spending the time and the money to do this due diligence before they dive headfirst into digital marketing?
Innovative brands are the same in any sector. You'll always have the top 10% leaders who will adopt, who will resource their team, will resource their technology to offer all of that data. They'll also spend the time to analyze it and from there optimize their performance. You'll always have the laggards as well. So that's essentially, it's the same everywhere in the world, including China.
But in China, what would be more specific would be the top 10% of these so-called leaders that you're talking about. What percentage of those would actually be Chinese domestic companies versus the more savvy international ones?
I'd say very few, very few. The leaders in data analytics would be global brands.
And so is this something that media agencies are actively trying to educate their clients about, or this is not something that they think they can turn around?
I think the complexity of just marketing activities as it is today on traditional plus traditional digital are overwhelming media agencies. They have a lack of talent. There's a lot of churn and knowledge management. There's key issues there driving that business model. In addition to that, you have this new layer of mobile digital, which compounds the amount of functional and operational work that these media agencies need to perform.
And is the data just as suspect for the mobile area as well?
Well, actually, with the growth of mobile internet, the functions and the technology can actually offer brands a closer relationship to the end audience. The key issue now is there's not enough spending in mobile, and in addition to that, there's no real experts in China on mobile. Everything is more tactical, it's more sales focused, but at the end of the day, one marketer looking at digital, traditional plus mobile, that's a lot of data. And just dealing with creative and rolling it out, again, that's the China problem.
Well, Clement, thanks very much for joining us today.